Hi everyone, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. I was actually going through all of my videos and I noticed that I didn't have this video put on YouTube. So for some reason I'd stored it, forgotten about it, but I'd actually chopped off the start of the video. But I thought you don't need to see me make the lye and all of that. So what we're going to do is get into how to actually make this gorgeous soap here. And I'll pop on the video. Of course it has been made, I have cut it, but in this video I do show you how I've made it, how I've cut it, and the end result, of course, to this gorgeous soap. If you're new to my channel, a massive welcome to you. This is a baby channel that only started early 2021, which of course is this year, and we're doing really well showing people all about the recipes that I do. I show you the tutorials and how I actually do things and all about the information. So if this one is handy to you or you really love this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification, because then you will know when my videos come up. And I do no less than 2 a week. Sometimes I sneak an extra one in. But anyway, hopefully you will love this video all about this gorgeous, beautiful soap. And let's get going on how to make it. As I said earlier at the start, I did actually unfortunately delete parts of the video, but it's okay. I could salvage enough to give you a video and show you all about making this Birchmont mint sort of soap that I've come across. So you can see here I do have my lye in the container that has already been made up, and now I'm just going to separate the lye into a couple different containers because that way I can add all the different colors that I'm going to be doing. So I am going to be using a really nice mica color from Sud Off in Australia. This one that you can see is a peacock green that I'm adding in, and you don't need a lot of colors in these. So I've just gone off to grab a spoon that I forgot before, and then we're just going to pop it in. It's about half a tablespoon I'm using in this small little bit here, and it's just because what I want to do is do the basis of the color, and then I just literally want to add the color through the middle just by pouring it, just some drop swirls straight into the loaf mold, which will make it nice and easy. The mold that I'm using today I think is a fairly big mold. My husband did make some of them, which lots of you might remember a little while back, and there is a video with the instructions and measurements on how to actually make a soap mold for yourself. So here I'm just adding also some activated charcoal into another container, because that's going to be my black portion of the soap. Do make sure when you're doing charcoal that you're wearing a mask, because it is really, really, you know, light and airy, and it can definitely grab into your lungs, as well as wearing a mask and goggles, sorry, not a mask, but goggles when you're actually making soap. That is super important as well, so you don't hurt your eyes. And mainly, you know, for me, I always say you must protect your lungs. It's something that a lot of people forget during soap making, but it's important. So in here now, all I've added in is some titanium dioxide that I've mixed in with water, and I'm going to add that into the base part of the mixture, because what I actually want to do is make this soap quite light. It will still have a creamy kind of film to it. A lot of people forget, they think by adding titanium dioxide it's all going to be totally white. It's not. It will still add like a bit of a creamy color, especially if you're using olive oils and such, because they do have a golden kind of color to them, don't they? So let's get mixing this bit up, and then we'll come back for the next bit. So everything's mixed up, and here you go. You can see my mold that I have here. So inside this mold, I have already lined it with some parchment paper, or you can just use some baking paper. As long as it's a wax-proof type paper, you'll be fine. And then I'm literally just going to be pouring the main base into this as well. So the main base that I've used is just some titanium dioxide and all the natural oils, and of course the fragrance that's in here as well. The fragrance is from Pure Candle Supplies, and you would have just noticed a big piece of shea that just fell in there, and I did notice it was down there, but I definitely did grab it out. I thought, oh no, we definitely have to get that out. We can't leave that in, otherwise it would be a chunk of shea. So you can see here, I actually had to pull that out of my mixture. I did see it floating earlier on, and I thought, look, I'll just take it out because I didn't notice it when I was actually mixing it a little bit earlier on. So, but that's something that happens with the heat transfer if you're not really watching, you know, exactly, and you see a lump and you just let it go, and I actually just didn't see it. So, but anyway, off we go. So on to the next bit here. So now all I'm doing here is just mixing up the next bit, which is my green portion. So I'm mixing it, and the mix that you can see is obviously just the plain mix with obviously the colorant that we added in before, the mica. And then you would have seen me earlier, I'm also putting in a mixture that looks brown, but it's not. It's actually the fragrance oil that is mixed back with the kaolin clay, because the kaolin clay will just actually hold the scent much better for you as well. So anyway, we'll pop everything to the side here, and now literally the only last job is we're just going to be pouring this straight into the mold. Before you pour anything in, just make sure you also get a spatula and go around the edges so that you know everything is well mixed in with the mica, because sometimes it's hard to see. And then all we're going to do is just let it free fall straight into the mold, and it really does give a beautiful look as well. And this will get some just gorgeous drop swirls as well. And the thing I like about this is every soap is unique. Like none of them will be exactly the same at all. So it's really something different and unique, and that's why people actually buy handmade or homemade soaps, because they like the fact that they're different, they're not boring and plain, and they just smell absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people say to me, you know, they just really love that they're different, and they feel it's a really nice piece of soap to put in their guest bathroom in particular. And I do use all of my own soap as well. So just for anyone that was wondering, yes, I definitely use it, and I do test all of my soap. I always do a little bit. I cut off the ends, and we always test the ends before they go out, just so I know that the soap's really good. You don't have to use the whole soap on yourself, but you know, just washing your hands, seeing how the lather is, and so on. But anyway, and like I said here, you can see I'm just going to be pouring on a bit more of the base on top, and then I have saved a little bit of the other mixture just to mix it in and give a gorgeous green kind of feel. So as most of you know, I am such a messy soaper, and I really don't think that matters because we've all got to clean up in the end, don't we? I try and clean as I go along, but it's a messy business making soap, that's for sure. And so what I'm just doing here is I'm just kind of rotating, putting some of the base mixture, then some of the colours and so on, because you do want a lot of the colours to sit on top, but it would be pretty boring if all the colours were on top or the plain was on top and then you had some bits of no colour running through the soap, because you've got to remember that once we actually cut this soap up, there'll be bits that were more colourful than others, and then that's just luck of the draw, isn't it, what people actually get. And so down the side here, I'm just going to add some colours, because my idea is to pull them into the middle from both sides, and then that will just pull bits of the green colour. So I do have the peacock that you see me put in at the start, the activated charcoal, which is the black, and then I also did put a crystalline kaolin teal mica as well, which is the lighter kind of one, and that way it will give it a real natural sort of look, because the center of this one reminds me really a lot like a spa kind of day. So it is really like a spa like sort of style, I guess, on this particular scent. So anyway, I hope you love it, because I really do love it. At the end of the video, I've also included for you the cut, so you can see me cutting it all up and exactly how it goes. And the thing with my soaps too is my recipe is, you know, is more than the soap actually needs. So if you want a flat soap, you could probably take 150 grams off. But I like mine to be piled up to give a really nice kind of peak to the soap, because a lot of my soap is going into shops. Or, you know, even if I'm at a market, you know, if you have a market stall, it is like your own little shop. So if you want them all to look really neat and very similar, then you would do your soaps the same. But if you have all flat top soaps, just make sure you just keep going with that, because people will learn to expect that, and then they'll actually recognize your product much more easily. So as I said, we'll just pop all these on the top, and then we'll just grab a spoon and we'll slowly move it back into the center. So let's get going on doing the finer details at the end. As I said, all I use is a little tablespoon. It's just a disposable one, but I don't actually throw it out. I just wash it and reuse it again. You can definitely do that. And I think in the days of us all thinking about the environment and how we can save it by literally just using the utensils that you can reuse rather than throw out is a really good idea. So that's what I try to do. I try to do as much as I can to make sure that, you know, I'm not sort of adding to all the landfill. But anyway, like I said, I reuse it, and then all you do is literally dip the spoon on the side and then pull the mixture to the center. So you're using the back of the spoon, as you can see what I'm doing just here. There's no right or wrong at all. I mean, you could use a chopstick, you know, you could use a spoon, you could use a fork, you could use a knife. I mean, there's just so many things that you can use. You can use little paint scrapers to scrape it in the middle. I mean, there's no right or wrong. So just have fun with your own creativity, and don't let anyone tell you it should be done a certain way. Just make sure that you know, as I always say, just you be you. So, and make it amazingly you, because that's what makes your soap company all about you. Because I always say people are coming to buy from us. It's not just about the product. They're also coming because they like us, they trust us, they want to see what we're making, and they want to know what we're all about as well. So I hope that little bit helps as well. And then here in this little container, you can see I've actually made some soap dough sprinkles. So these aren't sugar, they're actually soap dough sprinkles. And all they are is, you know, just basically your soap, and then it goes through a little clay extruder, and then I just cut them all off. And then I'm just going to sprinkle them along the soap. I have actually got a video, so just go back and have a look, and you'll see me making the soap sprinkles as well. They're really easy to make. And then we just sprinkle it along here, and that way we don't have to worry at all about adding all the ingredients that we'd have to if you're adding sugar sprinkles. If you add sugar sprinkles, you need to add every ingredient that is in that sugar sprinkle to your labels and your listings, or on, you know, on your website as well, so that people know that they're actually in there. But, you know, I always say this, when there's sprinkles on the soap, don't worry, there's no big deal. People always think there's going to be ants, but they're not. They literally wash off. The first wash that you're going to use, they're just going to dissolve, because it's just like putting a candy in your mouth. It would just dissolve with the heat of the water. So don't ever worry about that, and it's very common to use them as well. But soap sprinkles is another way if you don't want to use the candy. So anyway, we'll pop it on, and then of course at the end of making any soap, don't forget to just spray it with some rubbing alcohol, or isopropyl, which is its real name, because that helps to limit the ash on top of the soap, which is that dreaded ash. But you know, I always tell people it's a natural product. Sometimes ash comes on it, and I don't use a steamer or anything to get it off. It's just natural. It sometimes happens. If it was really, really ugly, well, I guess then maybe you may want to. But for me, I just tell people this is a totally natural product, and I let it do its thing naturally, even though I do try and limit the ash I'm getting, but sometimes it just happens, doesn't it? So anyway, we'll set this one aside. I'll cut it in 24 to 26 hours, and then after that it needs to cure for at least 4 weeks. Some people cure their soap for 4, some for 6, and honestly, there is nothing wrong with either way of doing it. It just depends on what your process is, but you know, soap is safe to use really in between that time. You know, really the curing time is just getting the soap hard. You know, that's really all it is. It's just getting it hard and making it the best bar of soap you can, because if you started using your soap within a week or 2, it would just go soft and squishy in the shower. So that is the real reason for the curing time, because it does go through its chemical reaction within the first 3 or 4 days. So it really doesn't take long to go through that reaction. But anyway, I hope you've loved the video, and as I said earlier, make sure you spray it with some isopropyl, which I'm just doing on here now. And then we will set this one up and we'll let it dry. And this, like I said, this is a part of my wholesale range. So my whole goal is to have my wholesale range just ready on the shelves and ready to go. But at times there may be a 4-week wait in between curing, because since I've opened up my wholesale, I've actually been quite surprised how many people have contacted me. I didn't think it would go so fast and so well, but thank you to everybody that is supporting my wholesale and my retail side of my business. It's all a part of staying afloat and making gorgeous things for all of you, because making all these videos does cost money. Unfortunately, it does cost money to make all of these things, but I love showing all of you how I do it, and of course giving you the recipe. So the recipe will be in the description box below. I haven't included it in the video, but below you will actually see the recipe, and just give it a go, and don't be too hard on yourself if it doesn't turn out exactly how you want it to turn out, because it takes time to learn how to make bath bombs and soaps. It is a really, really long process. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you watch me to the end. And of course, I'm going to do the cutting in the next little bit, and give me a thumbs up if you think my video is worthy, of course. But in just a few seconds, like I said, I will actually pop on the bit where we're going to cut the soap. Okay, it is the next day, and how exciting. I have finally finished, and it looks like this soap is looking absolutely gorgeous. I'll give you a close-up, and oh, it feels so heavy to hold because it is close to 4 kilograms in here, but hopefully you can all see how big it is, because it is absolutely massive. So I'm going to pop it out of here and we'll see how easy or hard it is. I know it's not too hard because I have taken it out before, but you kind of have to wiggle unless you have the latch, of course, in it. But anyway, I'm going to pop the camera down and I'll show you guys what we're doing. So I have literally undone the whole thing, everybody. So you can see here, I've taken all the sticky tape off. If you have a pin or something, just pull it off. Look, you can sort of do this and pull it up high, but because it's heavy, it kind of tries not to come up. So all I'm going to do here is, last time, this is literally what I did. I just kind of shook it out a tiny bit, and then it just literally fell out. So it comes out really easy. And let me stand this up. And two, because I put the sodium lactate, it definitely has gone harder faster. I don't think it's even been 24 hours. I did this at like 8:30 or so last night, 8:30 or 9 or something, and it's probably like 11:45 now in the day. So it's definitely not been that long, but you can definitely see it is ready to be cut. And the one thing I've noticed is when you put sodium lactate, don't leave it too long or it'll be crumbly and really hard to cut the bar of soap. But anyway, like I said, we've got it all here, haven't we? And it is looking really beautiful. So I'm going to get the soap cutter and we will cut it, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, everyone, let's cut this gorgeous soap. I'm actually running out of room at the moment in my little studio, but I'm sure you guys don't mind because all you want to really see is the cut. But because I do have the toppings on the top, I'm just going to turn it sideways, which is always a good idea, everybody. So let's cut and see what is going to be inside this gorgeous soap. It is really hard to cut because it's so long, but look how gorgeous that is. I mean, I'm actually super happy with that. I think it's really nice. It's not too much. It's just actually perfect. So, and then of course that is the top that each person's going to see. Anyway, I hope you've loved my video. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video.